I have Mr. Fox, and was just seeing if you would lower his bonds or maybe give him a personal bond. He is retired, and then he's also on a deferred for terroristic threat.
Oh my God, Mr. Fox picked up in a case. This
Yes,
Mr.
Judge.
Fox.
Yes, Judge, and he did tell me that you would be familiar with him.
Tell me, is this Butler's case? Remember Mr.
It is. It is.
Oh God, all that stuff that he was working. All that stuff that he was working.
Oh, yes, he's in the back.
Oh, no.
Out. Do you need him out, Judge?
Caramba la bamba.
Is he who you thought he was, Judge, or no?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He's on bond for DWI in Fort Bend County.
Oh,
He's on probation here. And
who's counting, Judge?
I'm calling Mr. Butler right now. The problem is that every time, we for months, our CLO, and we had him TRAS, and it says that he needs residential treatment.
Okay.
And Mr. Butler was and instead of getting the treatment that was needed and necessary at the time, because that's what we were supposed to do, he's now picked up a DWI and a felony evading. Mr. Fox, let me express my extreme disappointment. And I think what makes me so very upset is that when people truly need help, the fact that we push it along. And since day one, we've known residential has been needed.
It's time.
You now stand charged with another DWI. You're also charged with evading arrest in a motor vehicle. On that one, you're facing up to 10 years in prison, a minimum of 2 years, a maximum of 10 years in prison. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one will be appointed to you, sir.
The officers observed the defendant engage in a race with another car on a road in Harris County, Texas. The officer attempted to catch up to the vehicles and was unable to catch up to the other driver. However, the officer caught up to the defendant's vehicle and attempted to initiate a traffic stop by activating lights and sirens. The defendant failed to stop and engaged officers in a 13-mile pursuit. When officers made contact, they observed the defendant step out of the driver's side of the vehicle, and the officers observed a strong odor of an alcoholic beverage, slurred speech, red glassy eyes, and unsteadiness. The defendant admitted to drinking a bottle of wine and taking a Zoloft. During search of the vehicle, the officers found an empty bottle of wine and a Sonic cup that contained a liquid smelling of alcohol.
Alcohol in the car?
Yes, Judge. And the defendant refused standard field sobriety test. DIC was read, and the defendant refused breath. A blood search warrant was signed and executed.
Mr. Fox, did we already have an affidavit on file that he's not supposed to drive? I am now putting this affidavit that you're not to drive. If I find that you drive, and I don't care what your reason is, if you get out, because I don't know if you're getting out, then I will have a contempt hearing and you'll be facing an additional 6 months in jail and a $500 fine every time you get into a car and drive. I am now, if you get out, ordering you to be under home confinement. I think that your bond at $15,000 on the DWI is wholly insufficient, and I'm going to raise that to $50,000. I'm also going to raise the terroristic threat, the probation that you're on now. I'm also going to raise that to $50,000 and $50,000 and 1, 2, 3. How many cases does he have in Fort Bend open? I know he has the one DWI, but what else does he have?
I believe it's just the one DWI, Judge. But Alex is gonna double check for us. And also, Judge, the complainant in the terroristic threat case did reach out to the felony prosecutor because she saw that the defendant had been arrested. She is currently has filed for divorce from the defendant, and she is requesting that he is not to be in house arrest at her house. It is under her name. So I'm not
Okay.
sure if that's the address we have on file, but if you were opposing house arrest, she was requesting that it's not there.
Okay, so, I need to get Mr. Butler here so we can deal with this case as well, though. Do you mind perhaps reaching out to him, sending an email, or, I'll also call out to the office as well to see. He's always in court. Hopefully he can be here now. And then as soon as the line dies down, I'll also reach out to him as well. So she does not want any contact with him as far as, okay, so, Mr. Fox, you're not to have contact with the complaining witness and the terroristic threat. You're not to go with where they live, work.
She just said that I'm not gonna live there. I mean, we talk every day that I'm
You're
sitting
not,
in.
no, I mean, she doesn't want to have contact with him?
No, that's not what she said.
I'll go with the email, Judge.
And when did she call the DAs?
She emailed on November 21st. So I think that she saw that the new charges had been filed. She was just concerned, she expressed concern to the felony prosecutor that if the defendant is released to his home address, that's where she's currently staying, and they are going through a divorce. I don't think she'd said anything about no contact between the two. She just requests that he's not sent,
Okay,
to them.
so I won't do the no contact then. Okay. Okay, I want to have a hearing on this ASAP. I'm not waiting anymore on the stuff from, I mean, damn it, I can't do anything now. He's got these cases open anyways. All right, Mr. Fox, if you're released, like I said, home confinement, on one ankle, you will get a GPS monitor. On your other ankle, you will get a Scram ankle monitor, so we know that you're not consuming alcohol. Is that it? I guess that's it, right? No weapons. And then he'll have to, prior to release, he's going to get all those, and then you'll have to find somehow another address for him to live, James, because, we need the address prior. And I mean, I don't know if he's going to bond out now, but
Yes, Judge.
see, but
Can I get that rehabilitation that you had offered?
not while cases are open.
Oh,
You have the case also that's open in Fort Bend as well.
yes.
I don't know what's going to happen in there. I'll tell you, those cases take even longer to resolve than here. And then how are you going to be able to resolve that over there when you've got this stuff over here? So at some point, you're going to have to transfer over there, resolve stuff. It's just, it's even more of a mess now. So, all right, I guess I'm going to have you put back now. I want to wait to see if we can get Mr. Butler here today. And then if not, we'll just roll it to tomorrow until we get him.
And Judge, I have two more in custody.
Okay, who's next? You are Aziel Gracia.
Sir.
Mr. Gracia, so,
He's charged with, I've never seen this before, Judge, but he's charged with violating a bond condition.
yeah, I mean, I've certainly seen it.
And,
It's either,
It's not a protective order, it's a bond condition.
right, because they can't make the protective order case because it's been more than 61 days,
Had
right?
nothing to do with the protective order, Judge.
So, yeah, right, I get it.
It was a different situation completely. Had nothing to do with family violence.
Get there. So you're charged in violation of a bond condition / protective order. You are facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you, sir. If you cannot afford a lawyer be appointed to represent you. So before we start, was he in a PTI? Is that why this case is 1,000 days old?
Yes, sir. He just has a few BIP classes left to finish the PTI.
Okay. Okay, go for it.
Judge. The officer was dispatched to a business in Harris County, Texas, in response to a disturbance. Upon arrival, the officer observed the defendant grab another male aggressively, and the officer conducted a search on the defendant's person and found a loaded gun in the front pocket. The defendant is currently on bond for an assault family violence and has bond conditions in place prohibiting from possessing a firearm.
Yeah, all right. Mr. Gracia, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward on the bond conditions. state what's your position as far as he's in a PTI. He's now picked up a new case. Mr. Gracia, I want you to know that we take these bond conditions extremely serious.
Sir.
You don't, though. This is not your first VPO. This is not your first violation of bond condition. You don't get it. No means no. Doesn't mean maybe. Doesn't mean I'm going to a high crime area. No means no. And now there are consequences. Stephen.
Judge, can I tell you a little bit about the case?
Sure.
You know, like, just to explain to you what happened. He was at his business. He owns a trucking company. He hired somebody who he said he took a chance on him because has a sketchy record, convicted felon. It didn't work out within a couple of days. So he ended up firing the individual. The individual refused to leave the premises or refused to accept it. So he started threatening him. He went inside. The individual started trying to damage the trucks. So at that point, he was fearful. He went and retrieved a firearm that he knew was hidden in the vehicle. I'm sorry, in there. I understand, Judge.
It's about the worst thing that you can do. Imagine if you use the firearm. Who gets charged with murder, Mr. Gracia? Who has now dug themselves into a potential 50-year hole? We have a case like that today where a meager argument, someone who's charged with assault is now charged with murder because of a silly ass, stupid ass argument. Now, dude is sitting in custody with a $250,000.
And he's been punished at this point, Judge. He's been punished for violating the bond by getting an entire new case on that. So as far as him going into custody for violating the bond condition, I would hope that you would take that into consideration, the fact that he has gotten punished on the bond violation already, and the fact that he's already had to hire a new attorney for two cases at this point, and it's probably going to affect the other case. So I would hope that you would continue supervision on that, just taking that into consideration.
I truly appreciate your position, but you have an assault from 2019 of a family member. The following year, you pick up a violation of a protective order or bond condition. Now you have another assault that they were even, what the hell you're looking over there? Was it Jesus over there? You already have an assault of a family member that was dismissed as it is. You were lucky enough to even have this kind of an agreement where they're willing to dismiss a second assault of a family member. And now you pick up another violation of a bond condition. Eric, he doesn't get it.
I understand, Judge.
You don't get it. And now I have to show you we mean business. I think that you are utter and complete danger to public safety. And I will do everything in my power to protect my public in every single way. Because the last thing I want is you to pick up a murder case like we have here this morning. Someone else goes with you.
Judge, one more thing. There's a bond condition on there that he's not allowed to return to that address. That address is his business. It's his place of business. The other person has no right to that address. So he hasn't worked for the last week and a half because there's a bond condition, I'm assuming from the magistrate, that doesn't allow him to go back to that business.
Show me proof.
I'd like to be
Show
able
me
to take
proof.
that.
And, you know, the proper, you know, and you need to advise the proper way to do things is you call the cops.
Get it, Judge?
Really. I mean, that's, if you own the business, you show it. I mean, how easy would it have been to just call police?
I mean, he has a right to defend his property and his
Not while the case is open. He does, but not in that manner.
It's one of those things where things happen quick and you have to make a decision. And when we're talking about trucks that are worth hundreds of thousands of dollars and things like that.
911, man. Really?
How long do they take to get there, Judge? So
Okay. They will still take his ass to jail and then, you know, try to get restitution or whatnot. But
So as far as the bond goes, can you set him a bond today?
Of course.
And Judge, we've contacted Conrad because it's his case, but I just want to confirm that bond has been revoked for his prior case. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, on the assault, I'm revoking it.
Yes, Judge.
Looks like they set the bond at 20,000 on the new case.
Yes, Judge.
I'm gonna mirror it.
Because he's already posted that bond, he's already hired me. He hired me on the other case as well. There's a motion to sub in your queue that I need you to sign as well.
I'll sign it for you.
I'd ask that you set that new bond at $500. It's tough for the family, Judge. I mean, at this point, he hasn't worked in 2 weeks. He's trying to get back on his feet. He did everything properly. He didn't go back to the location because of the bond condition.
I'm not doing $500. I mean, I was thinking that was gonna mirror the same one. I was gonna put it at
And that would be a
20,000.
state's
So,
position to mirror.
so he understands that we mean business, you know, if he's unable to bond out, I'm always willing to talk after a couple days, you know, but I want him to understand that we take it absolutely serious. And when you go over there with a gun with the intent to do some serious damage, hell no. No way. No. And I think that making it 20,000, what the other one is, hopefully it'll get his attention. But like I said, look,
10,000?
like I'm not out for blood, Eric, you know, so if he's unable to, after some time, come back, and I'm not talking weeks, but you know, a couple days, so he realizes that we mean business.
So we're talking about 2 weeks minimum. So would you consider getting 10,000?
Well, remember, I Zoom, so you can be in Abu Dhabi. I'm still, well, here,
His mom's present, so let me talk to her.
Yeah, for sure.
Thanks, Judge.
20 Gs. Anna,